Morning, everybody. Pennsylvania Preparedness here, just starting the live a little bit early. Switch some things up a little bit. So, let me see. What all can you guys see now that I move the camera back some? Okay. All right. So, happy Saturday morning for the next couple minutes. Saw Bug Out Adventure stopped in so far. Thank you very much. As well as Loretta Houch. Thank you all for coming in. Um, yeah. All right. It looks good so far. So, good. Glad it didn't mess up me moving my camera back. I decided to move it back a little bit just to. I feel like I had it way too close to my face lately. So, um, yeah, just drop on in the comments. I know you guys do a good job normally talking in the comments here. So, what's everybody doing this Saturday morning? I know me. I am. I'm tired. I think I'm getting sick. I took a test where I ran and I didn't quite get my goal, but um, yeah, after doing that, I was pretty sore, so I took a day off or so to recover. And when I did that, it seems like when you're at such a high level and you come down, you always get sick or something. So I think that's what I'm dealing with, a lot of nasal congestion, sore throat, and I ended up starting tilling the garden yesterday. So I was doing that for a couple hours. Hey, what's up, Joe Morgan? All right, so we got Bug Out Adventures, Loretta Houch, and Joe Morgan in here. What's up, everybody? Devil Dog Prepper, hey, what's up? Hey, Devil Dog, please let me know in the comments here if you got the thing I sent you. Um, so, all right, so far so good. We got 5 people in here. Appreciate everybody for coming in. As always, don't forget to like the live just to help me out a little bit. Um, so yeah, I know I started tilling my garden. I planted a couple things so far just to get things started. Hey, what's up, Virginia Bushcrafter? How's it going? Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm rubbing my eyes and yawning a lot. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the camera here, but I got a little bit of a something going on with my throat here. I don't know if I'm getting sick or what. Could just be allergies for all I know. Here in Pennsylvania, as soon as the weather starts to change, everybody starts to get sick. So, Edith Wallace, hey, thanks for coming in today. Merritt Island FI. What's that? Would be Fiji FI. Checking in for Merritt Island FI. Hey, T. Velez, thanks for stopping in here this morning. Yeah, Joe. I don't. Well, actually, believe it or not, as young as I am, 33. Well, yeah, you're around my age. You said. Um, I actually have arthritis in my hands already. So, oh wow, we got a few people. Sandy P 1964. Thanks for stopping in. Um, yeah, I just started a little early because I know how great the community is. Everybody likes to start and say hi to everybody else first. So that's what I figured everybody's going to probably do here to begin with. Start saying hi to everybody else, and I don't really have anything crazy to go over today. One of the things I was researching lately. Um, Good, Joe Morgan. That's good. You got to keep moving, even with the pain. I know it sucks, but that's how you keep moving throughout everything. But um, yeah, so one of the things I wanted to talk about. I don't know how many other people here are from Pennsylvania. Don't worry, this is not beer. This is just an Aldi's energy drink. Let's see how it is. But I know Pittsburgh. They had something about how they are not necessarily cutting their police service, but they're definitely reducing the amount of. Well, no, they're not even reducing the officers. They just don't have the officers. They don't have as many officers as they need. So what they're doing basically is overnight between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. That's not bad. Between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., Pittsburgh PD is only going to have about 20 police officers on for the whole city. And it's a large city, obviously. I think they said 64th largest in the country. Um, so you can only imagine 20 police officers for that many people overnight. That's kind of crazy. Hey, what's up, Sumi? How's it going? Good afternoon. I guess it is afternoon because I just heard the fire siren going off. So that means that it's noon. They do a test of their fire siren every Saturday at noon. So, yeah, anybody who's heard anything else about the whole Pittsburgh PD thing, go ahead, let me know. Virginia Bushcrafter, pumping weights today. A much needed exercise. Got to get back in top shape, at least try. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm doing push ups every day, running almost every day. I definitely, I took a little break. My knees are absolutely killing me. Compared to when I weighed a lot more and ran every day, I'm doing a lot better. But I'll tell you what, running every day, being as tall as I am, being as heavy as I am still, it kills my back and my knees. Every day I feel like I lost a fight. Yeah, Bug Out Adventures, you're definitely right. Crime time for the criminals. Yeah, I forget who said it, but it's basically like you're telling the criminals, hey, we're not going to have any cops on the street around this time. So if you're going to do something, this is the time to do it. Especially knowing that they're going to be trying to, like, what is it? They won't respond to anything that's not in progress. So basically, if you come home at 4 a.m. and your house is broken into, um, if you don't go in and check it out, how are they going to know? They might, I don't know if they're going to say, well, we don't know if somebody's in there, so we're not coming. Or if they're going to say, well, we have to send somebody because somebody could still possibly be in there. I don't know exactly what they have planned. Double Dog says you have to do low impact exercises. Back and knees are shot from the time in the Marines. Yeah, I believe that. I could see that. Me, unfortunately, I don't really. What is it? They say that running is like one of the worst exercises you can do for your joints. But at the same time, that's the only way to get better at it. So I unfortunately have to keep doing it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. Yeah, quitting drinking can definitely be hard to do. We'll be doing a 2-month bug exercise in New Eagle, Mongolia area. Oh, nice. Like a bug out exercise, I'm guessing. Yeah, Joe, you're not wrong. Most burglaries do happen around that time, but at the same time, um, crime happens 24/7. Anything can happen anytime. But still, fact of the matter is, if I were to see my house broken into, I would call the police, clear it myself, because I don't want somebody to still be in there. And if they say, hey, wait outside, then that's what they tell you to do. But me personally, I would go in because I have dogs. I care about them very much. So I would definitely clear the house first. Glucosamine helps with bones and joints. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've never tried that for that benefit alone. I'd probably just stick with something else that would, I don't know. I'd look into it. I'll check into that and see. But I'll tell you what, my joints are definitely feeling the runs. Running always sounds weird how I say stuff, but usually means kidnapping. Well, that's a possibility, So Joe Morgan said about how if people come at night, normally it's for way more worse means than just taking stuff. So um, I don't know. That's one of those things where you never know until it happens. And honestly, I would just personally, I would clear the house myself. If I find somebody, um, hey, especially with the cops being 4 hours away, you know, what are you going to do? Are you just going to wait outside in the cold or what? So I don't know. The whole thing in Pittsburgh is definitely interesting to hear about. I'm really curious about what the citizens are seeing and what exactly that transpires to as far as like if they're going to have an increase in crime, which I'm sure they will. Um, or maybe technically they'll have a reduction in crime overall because people won't be reporting things as much. Sumi said, I need to set up surveillance cameras around the barn for those times I'm at work. Wish I could just work from home. But even then, I can't watch the outbuildings from inside the house. Yeah, I have the whole Ring camera security system. I think it's pretty great for just a house, but if you have buildings that are further apart and stuff like that, you might need to invest in something that's a little bit more technical and reliable. I guess would be a good way to put it. The Ring is sort of good for a small house, whereas some of the other stuff not so much. Okay, Virginia Bushcrafter said that he used glucosamine when he was bike racing, so maybe that's something I'm gonna have to check into. For me personally, I've only glucosamine. I mean, that's what you give diabetic patients and stuff whenever they. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check into it. That sounds interesting because I'll take anything to help me recover faster. I know that this doesn't help too much. I've never had their energy drink at Aldi's before, so we'll see how this goes. Criminals are going to test their boundaries until people fire back. Yeah, Joe, you're not wrong. If Pittsburgh has an increase in concealed weapons permits and stuff like that, then this might end up working out. I personally think that if that were to happen in my community, I would probably go to the local, like all my neighbors, and basically try to form some type of community watch. And me being the younger of my neighbors, I'd probably be like, hey, something pops off, let me know. I'll be over. I'll help out. So I don't know. It really depends on how things. I think doing it right before the summer was a bad idea because summertime is when you have the most crime. There's always a spike because people are out, people are miserable, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I personally think that it's not going to be as bad as people make it seem. It's not like there's no police. It's just that they're understaffed. So they basically did a study and saw, hey, when do we have the least amount of reports coming in? Well, overnight, between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. And that's when we have the same amount of officers that we have during the daytime. So basically, they're looking at it from a standpoint of, hey, why are we having 100 officers when we have, crime going on that 100 officers need to deal with versus 100 officers overnight when we're burning them out and we're paying them overtime, stuff like that, for time that they're just sitting there overnight from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., honestly, probably taking a nap. So what was the point of it? And I sort of get it. So Edith Wallace, you said you're going to be going to Pittsburgh area in a week. We'll fill you in. We'll be in a clean, safe area with good police and personal protection. Well, I'm sure that you're probably not going to this. I don't know. If you're going to the city, I definitely would like to know how that goes. Because, I mean, also even the fact that you might have police cars parked on corners or in areas or parks, places that you have a lot of crime, that alone might deter crime. So I don't know how that's going to affect everything. If you don't have any cars out, the 20 officers overnight are probably honestly just going to sit at their station because they don't want to just sit in some alley waiting for somebody to pop up behind them. Knowing that their only backup might be, twice the distance away as it used to be, and that officer might be dealing with something, so who knows? Or the fact that they have to go from call to call might also affect things. We'll be 3 miles from the city district. Okay, well, let me know how it goes. If you see anything interesting or not, either way. If you do go into the city, let me know. Well, you'll probably go during the daytime, but that's the thing. Even during the daytime, they're very understaffed, so I'm curious to see how all this plays out. Let's see what else I missed in here. Bug-Out Adventure says she has a rogue squirrel for home invaders. Those things are vicious. Almost like a tactical trunk monkey, but tactical squirrel, I guess. Joe Morgan says he has drowning pools on standby in case he bugs out. Sumi said turmeric and black pepper for inflammation as well. I've sort of heard about that. I'll have to check into that. You guys always have such good suggestions. I'll have to check into some of that stuff because at this point, I'm about willing to rub Bengay all over my body or drink it like a paste because I'm feeling it. Well, Devil Dog, you're right, but at the same time, I don't really live in fear. I live in awareness because I know darn well if something were to happen, I'd be ready. Um, if the police in my area would not be ready for something, then I know I certainly would be. Now, granted, my police department is great. The one that I have that covers my area is fantastic. Very good with community policing, and you wouldn't drink Bengay. Well, yeah, I know. Just an example. If it worked, I would try it. But unfortunately, we know that would just probably be really awful for me. Let's see. So I'm just really curious to see what happens in Pittsburgh. We'll probably know by June, July how it's going because that's when the temperatures really start to spike and you're going to have people start to get agitated and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where it's almost like a experiment. We're going to see how it goes. And if they tried something like that in Philly, I guarantee things would just fly off the handle immediately, probably before they even actually enforce it. So I don't know how the crime rate was in Pittsburgh prior to, but I know I definitely had quite a few people incarcerated on my block when I worked in the prison who were from Pittsburgh. So who knows? So far we talked about inflammation. Thank you all for the good ideas. And then also we talked about Pittsburgh so far. I'm trying to think of what else was in the news. I don't really like going over the news, but at the same time, I'm sure you guys can only hear about me tilling my garden probably about 2 or 3 times because it's not exactly the most exciting thing in the world. Don't mind me, I'm just reading through the comments here. I don't know how some of these other content creators do it, where they're reading what everybody's writing and also still talking at the same time. I'm one of those people, I have to stop talking in order to read the comments. So, because if not, I'll end up reading part of the comment while I'm reading the comment. So I'll say it out loud when I'm reading because that's how my brain works. Yeah, Joe Morgan, you do have a really tough spot, brother. And I know I try to catch your lives, and if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out, send me an email or something. What you're going through is not easy, so let's see. Anybody else? Yeah. Anybody that has a Walmart close by, I don't know if you guys can quite see it. Let's see. Yeah, you can. They have a bunch of those plastic shelves at Walmart for about $30. They hold over 70 pounds. I definitely grabbed a few of those, and as you can see, I got one right here. They're not huge, but great for $30. They hold a bunch of weight. I'm not going to put buckets of food on there, but $30 isn't too bad. I think they're probably about 3 feet wide, probably about 5.5 feet tall-ish, approximately. Whole police adverse issue in Pittsburgh is due to defund the police. Yeah. Well, they even said originally that that's what it was. They said that due to basically them having cut the police department staffing and pay and all that stuff during the defund the police, a lot of people left. They're having a hard time recruiting people, first of all, they're having a hard time with retention. They're not increasing their pay, their pensions, anything like that. So what's the point of staying? Especially when you're basically told by your police department and the people that you provide service to that they don't want you. So it's like, what's the point of staying? You know, it's I saw somebody talking about it. They're like, police officers don't take the job for the cool uniform. They take it for the pay and the ability to help people. So if you, first of all, if you take away their ability to get paid or their way to provide for their family, then that's a huge, like me personally, if I win the lottery, I didn't have to worry about money. That would be something I would do for free. But at the same time, you can't feed your family on hopes and dreams. So it's one of those things where, um, you need money. So on top of that, though, a lot of the people that do become police officers do it for the fact that they are patriotic or love their community and they have a sense of, um, moral or ethical callings to it. So let's see. Joe Morgan said he had experience at Walmart. Was the first time there in 3 years. Apparently, since the last time he was there, they moved everything. Only had a self checkout, sell IPA ranch water and White Claws. Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, here in Pennsylvania, they don't have the cool Walmarts. We just have regular unboozy ones. Edith Wallace. Let's see. Police in Pittsburgh answered a call. A shootout occurred. Police fired over 1,000 rounds. The person held out for 5 hours. It might be safer to keep them off the streets. You mean the police or the criminals? Because, well, that's the thing. Everybody says about defunding the police, but then like you say, what do you expect from the police? One of the very next things that they say is, they need to be trained better. Well, a lot of people, they don't realize that by defunding the police, and understaffing them, you're making it more dangerous because if you're one officer and you might have to wait an hour for backup or whatever, you have to, if you have to wait for either backup or whatever else, you might be a little bit more on edge. And you might be a little quicker to draw your firearm. You might be a little more cautious yourself, and you might be more inclined to do things that would keep you safe and not the other person safe. So that's one of those things where defunding the police really is not a good idea. All in all, now if they say reform, okay, understandable. You should always be improving, especially when it comes to public safety. And when you have the public, which is always changing, then your police also have to always be changing and adapting to the things that are going on in the world. So that's understandable. But when they say reform and then they're talking about, cutting the pay or reducing training, but they want better police officers. I never understood that, how they could say that and think that it was actually a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't had a steel reserve in a while. Yeah, it is a problem that they created. Let's see. I don't call 911 for police assistance, but I can tell you something else will, because they're gonna need when they FAFO FAFO. Yeah, sorry, fire siren again. But yeah, I heard this saying that said you don't need to call 911, but you do need to call 811 to dig. So I thought that was pretty funny. Um, yeah, it really is. It's an unfortunate. It's one of those things where people want more freedom, but in order for us to have that freedom at the same time, like it's complicated. It's one of those things where, yeah, everybody wants to feel safe. That's why the police are there. But then you get into the realm of, how much law is too much law. And then, a lot of people that are continuously getting picked up or arrested, they don't necessarily, like, they think, oh, this police officer violated my rights. And most of the time it's just because they saw a TikTok about how, if a cop pulls you over, they don't have a right to hold you. It's like, no, it's like all these TikTok lawyers and stuff. It's like most of what they're saying doesn't make sense. They don't know the actual law. They're just talking about how they feel personally. So, yeah. Yeah, Joe Morgan, you're not wrong. That's exactly what I do. Let's see. No, I did not see. Let's see. You see all the BS stuff in the 1.2 trillion budget that just got passed? No, I didn't. I did not. See, that's the thing. I don't have cable. I don't follow a lot of the mainstream media because honestly, it just stresses me out. I just sort of, when the news cycle is done, I basically go through, I research whatever topics stick around or whatever's important, and I research it myself because I don't want the bias of being told from the media what they think of a certain opinion or whatever. So, yeah, Joe Morgan, I definitely agree. I definitely do that because that's one thing I like to. It's like, how do I put it? It's like in your house, you have fire extinguishers because you don't know when a fire could occur, but you'd like to be able to put it out instead of waiting for, like me, I have a volunteer fire department, a fantastic volunteer fire department, which I know would probably get here quicker than some paid departments would. But, it's one of those things where I'd still rather have a fire extinguisher in my house in case they are delayed or can't get staffing there quick enough to get to my house. So same with the police. Yeah, you might have a great police department where you are, but at the same time, in the 5 to 10 minutes it might take an officer to arrive, I'd rather know that my life is safe because I took that matter into my own hands. And I'm sure that's how most of you all feel as well. Um, Cop once told me, let's see, it's like the chat. Oh, I see. That's why there's a lag here. Adventure said, a cop once told me, ignorance of the law is no excuse, but today it seems we're without rule of law. Well, I mean, I feel like the whole without rule of law, I mean, I definitely see in my community, there's plenty of police presence. My specific police department that covers my area is very good. Typically, they actually sit right down the road from me, which is great. I feel I actually have a great rapport with my police department, and yeah, I mean, I would definitely, but also I'm a law-abiding citizen, so at the same time, I don't have to worry about them pulling me over and finding drugs in my car. Um, I don't have to worry about, the only thing I have to worry about is when I get pulled over, making sure that I tell them right off the bat, hey, I have my concealed weapons permit and I do have it with me. That's about the only thing I really have to worry about. And one time that happened to me, they were very chill about it. They're just like, "Where is it?" I was like, "My right hip," and I told them that I told them all about it, and they were like, "Okay, cool," just hang tight. And they didn't even have me pull it out or anything. They were just like, "Okay, do you have your permit?" Showed them it, easy. So that's one of those things where, like me being courteous, kind, just telling them right off the bat. I still remember there's a police officer I know pretty well. He had actually pulled me over years ago before he knew me. And I told him about it. And I said, yeah, I was riding my motorcycle. I was going way over the speed limit. And I pulled past you. And you said to me, hey, thanks for not running. And I basically told him, yeah, it tops out at like 200 miles an hour. And he was driving a Crown Victoria at the time. And he just said about how I could have beat him in a race. I was like, oh, I know. because Crown Vics only go up to 160 ish. So it was kind of funny, but at the same time, like I also didn't run, so if he had got my plate, he could have taken my license. So let's see, Double Dog. Let me see if I can. This is. I wish that both these chats work together right. There we go. All right, go to the bottom here. Sorry for the shaking. This is one of those stands. So let's see, 13 million going to Egypt for Egyptian tuition. 800,000 going to Gay Senior Center. 440,000 going to San Diego Zoo, so people can't afford to visit the zoo. Now go see the animals. That's interesting. No, I didn't see that. Yeah, and that really is a pain when you see stuff like that happening, where your money is going to other countries or for stuff that doesn't affect you. It's like, well, this is my tax money. Why are you sending it to other places? But at the same time, yeah, because there's already issues here in the United States that they need to work on. So, yeah, Double Dog Prepper just said, in Ohio, the cops know you have a concealed weapons permit before you tell them because it's attached to their license somehow. I I know that for a fact because in Pennsylvania it's the same way. Actually, I can't go into extreme detail, but when they run you, that's one of the things that would pop up is if you have a concealed weapons permit, typically. Um, but at the same time, you want to be kind and courteous, let them know so they don't have that awkward moment of, do you have any weapons in the car? Followed by, they have to tell you, like, hey, where is it? I prefer to tell them first so they don't, basically taking the worry out of their mind. Like, hey, hey, what's up, officer? Hey, first thing I want to let you know is, hey, I do have my concealed weapons permit. I have my firearm on me. It's on my right hip. Registration's right there in my left hand and my license. So they're right off the bat. Good interaction. And if they say something to me like, oh, why were you speeding, or this or that, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I actually told one of the officers, I was like, the speed limit's like 65 back there, and he was like, no, it's 55. I was like, no, sir, I can actually see the sign in my rear view. I said, no, sir, I travel this road every single day. That says 65 because that's why I sped up. And he was like, well, I'm pretty sure it was 55. I was like, well, I know for a fact it's 65. And I said, not trying to argue with you, but I said I will definitely watch my speed next time. And he was like, he was appreciative of me not being an a-hole. And the next day I drove by just to make sure, and it was 65. But it's one of those things where if he would have said no, it's 55, sir, I would have said okay, sorry, something like that. But just because there's no reason to fight with them, they're just out there doing a job. There's no reason to make their life any harder because most of the time they're just trying to deal with whatever they got to deal with, and you can always fight it later in court if you need to. Show up for a traffic stop on me. Well, Joe, that sounds like a really interesting story, but you're going to have to tell him one of your lives sometime. KP Heathen, what's up? Greetings from Pennsylvania to Louisiana. Let's see. What else did I miss in here? Contest, please, budget here. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, Sumi, that's what they do a lot of the times. Sumi said about how they released the budget at about 2:30 in the morning, and it was 1,000 pages. They do that so then people can't read through the whole thing, or when they do, they might miss stuff. That's sort of political tactic. Unfortunately, it's like filibusters, stuff like that. There's certain things that you can do, but at the same time, if you have a good team, you might be able to have, I don't know, 10 people read 100 pages each or something and go through it and be like, hey, what did you take away from that? That's really where politicians need to work together in order to make sure that this stuff isn't happening. Honestly, I forget who I was talking to, and they were like, "Why don't the only way to really turn stuff around nowadays is to actually run for political office?" And I'm not a politician by any means, but at the same time, maybe that's what we all have to start doing. I don't think I can run because of my current job, but I don't know. It's something to definitely look into. Voting alone doesn't seem to be doing the job anymore. Plus, I'm not really a huge fan of politicians, but I guess the best way to change things is from the inside. So who knows? Let's see. It's even worse than that penny after they pull me from vehicle. Gang unit comes, make strip, and take pictures. Oh. Well, Joe, I'd have to almost hear about the story to give any insight on that. I can definitely tell you that a lot of the time the gang units will take pictures of what's it called, tattoos that are similar to gang affiliated ones, I guess is the best way to put it. But at the same time, it could just be something like if you're Irish and you have a clover on you, they probably take a picture of that because, well, that's what a lot of white supremacists use. Yeah, it's just a clover. So, even if you're Irish and you have a clover on you, that could be enough to have them do the pictures. Not saying that it's not dehumanizing, and I'm sorry for that, but it's possible. Oh yeah, I saw something about Florida. What did I miss about that? And concealed weapons. Oh, here we go. Edith Wallace. In Florida, you can conceal weapon without a permit plus stand your ground law. Yeah, I do remember seeing the stand your ground law. There was a case where some guy pushed an old man in front of a convenience store, and like the old man was giving they were just talking back and forth, giving each other crap. Oh, the younger guy pushed him. He fell to the ground, and he pulled his weapon out, and he started the guy started walking away, and the older man fired at him, and he actually was. It ended up being a justified shoot, even though the other person walked away. But I guess the whole reason was he said that he hit his head, something or other. But yeah, honestly, it's one of those things too where I try not to get into any altercations. Like if somebody's cursing me out, I'm just like, okay, whatever, man, you're right. Like somebody's calling me a mother effer, I'm just like, yeah, guess whose mom it was that I effed, and try not to get into it. I try to typically walk away from stuff because of that exact fact. You never know what somebody else has. They might be an old man, and or weak and frail, but and they might just run their mouth because they want to use it. So who knows? Um, I don't think Pennsylvania is a stand your ground law state. I have to look it up. I'm pretty sure we're like the Castle Doctrine. I'm pretty sure. I know that they had said something about it changing a couple of years ago, but um, I honestly, I'm not worried about it because the only thing I'm going to use it for is imminent danger. I wouldn't do that. If somebody pushed me over, I fell over, I wouldn't pull it. So who knows? Man, there's a lot of chat going on here now. Let's see. It's even worse than that. Okay, I read that. Okay, yeah. So, Joe Morgan, yeah. If you do have ink like that, even if it's some stupid stop like that, they'll probably if it's a felony stop, they're probably going to end up taking the pictures because something that they got to do. Um, Still morning here. Let's see. What else did I miss? Bastard. Yes, Joe. I think that's one of the best things I think I ever could have heard somebody say about carrying a weapon. If you carry a weapon, leave your ego at home. I couldn't agree more. Because that's one of those things where if you instigate something or continue to rile somebody else up, and you have to ultimately use that tool, it can come back to bite you. It's like the people that put stuff on their Glocks that say "Smile, wait for the flash" or something, or they have the Punisher skull on their weapon. mine are always stock except for maybe an optic because of the fact that I don't want anything that a lawyer could come back and point at and be like, this dude thinks that he's some vigilante that needs to clean up the streets on his own. You know, do they look cool? Yeah, they do look cool. I personally would love to have a Captain America logo on every single one of my firearms, but I just feel like somebody might be like, oh, he thinks he's some sort of superhero out here cleaning up crime. So I just leave him as is. I'm a big Captain America fan, by the way. Wonder why. Um, ugh. Did a lot of work, land surveying and hunting, fishing in the north part of Ohio. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Joel, I get that. When we first got my one puppy, I could hear her whine all the way downstairs, being upstairs, and I couldn't fall back asleep till I left her out. So I get that. Because I'd rather deal with a whining puppy than a pile of poop or pee on the floor when I get downstairs. Yeah, Joe, you're right. If you're an instigator, then you're not justified. It's sort of like what they say, the lawful but awful stuff. It's like, were you justified? Yeah, but it's going to look bad, and you'll probably lose a civil suit, and you'll get sued, and lose all your money. So even if you win the criminal like suit, like you're not guilty of manslaughter or homicide, you could still lose your house, your cars, and your retirement stuff like that. So it's always just better. Like me personally, I never want to have to use it. Do I train with it, and am I ready if I have to? Yeah, there's been instances I've only pulled it once, um, but that was like I want to say 5-on-1 instance, and I heard them say, "Hey, we're gonna, you hit this guy in the back of the head. We're gonna take his money." I was like, "No, that's not happening." Spun around, pulled it out, and diffused the situation very quickly. Let's see. Peed on the floor 3 times so far. Oh, yeah, that's unfortunately when you step in dog poop in the dark. Yeah. Um, yeah, honestly, I know. What did I just see? I saw that the state police switched over to Walthers now instead of 6 hours. Um, I'm sort of curious. I know that they were saying about how the reason that they did it was they're switching all their weapons over to coming with optics. So they're all going to have optics on them. So that's interesting to see. Honestly, I use iron sights for pretty much all of my firearms. Now, that's another thing I completely forgot. That's one thing I try not to talk about is firearms too much on my channel because of the fact that it gets you not necessarily shadow banned, but sort of, I guess, in a way. Actually, let me see too. I forgot something else. There we go. I forgot about the ticker on the bottom. Um, so I don't really know. Run a stock, same ammo, local use. Um, yeah, that's fair. I never really thought of that. Honestly, I feel like as long as you basically keep it as stock as possible, as far as making sure you don't have anything on it that's flashy or could be translated to, how do I put this? Like I have people I've seen that have some things on their firearms that I'm like, what if you have to use it and they take it into evidence and then it's used against you in court? And they're like, oh, I'll deal with it when I have to. I'm like, why would you want to have to deal with that? Like me, I have, what do I have? A Ruger Security 9 is like a full size that I have. And I'm just like, it's got self defense ammunition. And basically, the only reason, like, if somebody comes back and like, why do you have that? I'll be like, well, because I don't want over penetration and have it go through the target into the wall and into the next room. So it's like when it comes down to stuff like that, like I have a reason for everything. The only thing that I think I would probably include might be like a flashlight. that's something I really should add to it that I just don't have because I have a flashlight right next to my bed. So one of those things where it's like, do I really need it? It's not a bad idea to have a backup though. Oh, excuse me. Sort of keep burping because of this. All these energy drinks. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, as far as a red dot, I don't really think that that necessarily would look bad to a court. You could just say I wanted to improve my accuracy because I didn't want to accidentally miss the target and not be able to stop the target in the most efficient way possible, especially if you're waking up in the middle of the night. Paint flat black, no more shiny. Yeah, I don't think I have any. Okay, I lie. I have one firearm. It's an old revolver from like the 19, I can't say 1900s because that's sort of, okay, so it's from like 1918-ish, like World War One era. It's a break top revolver, and it's really interesting. It shoots 32 short. I don't know if anybody has a revolver like that, but it's a very interesting firearm, and like I don't think it's very powerful, but it's hard to find ammo for. But that's the only firearm I have that I think is like a silverish color. Like even I got a Remington 870 out of the Department of Corrections, and that's black with wood furniture. Pretty much every other firearm is black. Um, I don't really like the flashy look of them, but at the same time, if you would find one like that, there's no problem with it. That's how it comes stock. Oh well, that run it like it. But all right, 11 people in here so far. Let's see. I got 10 likes. Okay, that's pretty good. Um, that means everybody's liking it. I appreciate y'all for being here. First of all, happy Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody's got something cool planned for the weekend. Here in PA, it's pretty rainy and crappy and cold. I would have ran today, but I have stuff going on with the family, so I'm going to be doing that. Um, Maybe that's why my knees hurt because the rain. Plus, I was out gardening yesterday. Um, Anybody else start their gardens yet? Let me know what you're planting. If anybody needs any seeds of anything, let me know. I might have them. I can send them to you with a sticker, possibly. Um, and if anybody else has a channel or wants to do like a live together, please let me know. I'm always looking to do stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Penny Pinching Prepper? How's it going, brother? Looking good. I can see the weight you've lost. Yeah, thank you. I've lost 60 pounds so far. And one of the guys I work with wants me to lose about another 40 ish. So, wow, total. No, 50. 50 ish. So, all in all, that'll be over 100 pounds, which would be pretty cool. Um, and so far, I'm really trying to do it. So, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to make the goal that I had planned. I was really planning on it, but we'll see. Anything to my tools, leave them just as they come. Yeah, I'm the same exact way. Virginia Bushcrafter. Pretty much all of mine are stock, have no additions to them. Also, because a lot of the holsters I bought are the way that the firearms came. So, in order for me to upgrade them or do anything to them, I'm going to have to get new um, holsters. Um, yeah, yeah, Penny Pinching Prepper. It's good to see you, brother. I know um, it's been a little hard for you to get on lately, so I appreciate you stopping in for sure. And I appreciate you letting me know how slim I look. I'm definitely trying to do my best. Sue me. Woke up with 2 inches of fresh snow on the ground. Jeez Louise. Where are you at where that is snowing? I know you said FI earlier. I don't know. I don't know what state that is, unless you meant MI? F. What was F? I don't know. I don't know what state that would be, or wherever that would be. Um, Yeah, okay. KP Heathen, he's got kidney beans, bell peppers, squash, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Yeah, those are going to be good. Yeah, definitely. I could see. Let me see what out of that. I'm gonna do bell peppers. I'm not doing squash. I don't really eat squash. Tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I'm gonna do a bunch of cherry tomatoes if I can. I eat those things literally like grapes. I'll sit there with like a bowl full of cherry tomatoes. I'll just eat them. Let's see. I do dig that Western style and look. Buy a cowboy hat, do it right, and spurs for your boots. Eating Italian sub. That sounds really good. Uh, Joe Morgan, that reminds me. I know you keep saying Penny to me too. So I don't know if you're referring to my old channel name or my actual last name. I just always think it's funny because you say Penny to me, and I'm like, wait, is Penny Pinching Prepper in here? Because I know a lot of people just call him Penny. Double Dog has 400 seeds growing right now. Well, that's fantastic. You're gonna have to let me know how they all turn out because you're in the same growing area as me, being in Pennsylvania. Thank you. You know what? Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think I actually got one of those seed vaults, and I would like to. I'm gonna try to plant as many of them as I can possible. But obviously, I'm not on like a 5 acre, 10 acre, 50 acre plot of land, so I only have so much room. But I'll let you guys know what all I plant and what sticks. Last year, I had some sort of not fungus. Was it a fungus? A mold attack my corn, which really sucked because I love corn as much as I love cherry tomatoes, and it just ruined my whole crop of corn, and it actually spread to my broccoli too. I think it might have been a fungus, but yeah, it destroyed my broccoli and my corn, and yeah, so this year I definitely have to keep up with making sure the moisture level isn't too high because I think that's what it came from was too much moisture, and that just sort of crept up the stalks and killed everything. Devil Dog Prepper, your garden is 85 by 65. Now I'm guessing that has to be feet because if it was inches, I don't think you get 400 C's in there. But that's pretty impressive either way. Neem oil. I don't think I've ever heard of neem oil. Yeah, Joe Morgan, I bet you do. I bet you do tease us gardeners because we always get so up in arms when we have a frost come in and kill all of our plants that we just worked so hard to turn the soil on and everything. One of the things I did last year, I was so scared I was going to kill almost everything that I ended up taking a tarp and threw it over everything when I heard a frost advisory. I took a large tarp, threw it over there, and it actually worked. It saved pretty much everything. Obviously, until the mold or whatever fungus it was killed my corn and stuff. White mold was really bad last year. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it was like almost how do I put it? Yeah, it looked like white and fluffy. It was something that I was sort of sad about, but you know what? You'll learn and get better. So I'm gonna look at that neem oil stuff too. Um, hey, what's up, XNYC Prepper? How's it going, brother? Thank you very much. I was watching your videos on the cane stuff, and I really like that video you did with the cardboard. That's a good idea because you don't necessarily have to hit stuff hard to get faster. You just need to move your arms like what's it called? Fast twitch muscles. So by you doing that repeatedly, hitting that cardboard and having that thunk noise, you're getting it in your mind. That's how you get faster, and that's how your muscles get faster too. So I really like that. Um, it's natural. Okay, yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to look into neem oil. Well, let me write that down so I don't actually forget. Got this bad boy I've been carrying around still. Got that right there. Got a couple stickers. If anybody wants one, please let me know. I was able to send some out just the other week. I know one person got them already to their house or wherever they wanted them. So if you guys want them, let me know. I'll try to send them out. Let's see. We'll definitely check that out after this live. Okay, what else? Buy a 4-gallon backpack, electric sprayer, hand tool, no manual pumping. Okay. Well, I don't really have that big of a garden that I'm going to need or that my hand would get tired from pumping either. So that's another thing. Right now, I'm just sort of in the small time gardening. Like, I think with how big my garden is, as long as I do it right, I can pretty much get everything that I need to for the summer. I'm the only one that really eats the veggies, so I don't really like anything extra. Like the one year, I think I planted eggplants just to see how they grow. I didn't eat any; I just gave them to people because, or the cucumbers too. I had a ton of cucumbers. I started giving them to people. One of the cucumbers, oh, it had to be at least, I'm trying to think, like from my wrist to my elbow, huge, absolutely huge, and it was just ridiculous. Well, KP Heathen, if you want a sticker, you gotta send me an email with an address to send it to, because that's the only way I can get them to you. I know a few other people I owe stickers to, like who do I owe stickers to? Penny Pinching Prepper. I owe XNYC Prepper sticker. There's a few other people in here I know. I don't think anybody else up top here I owe one to. But yeah, if you guys send me an email with an address to send a sticker to, I'll get you one. XNYC, you guys send me an email. I know I emailed you a couple times. So just send me an address to send it to. I'll send it to you. And sorry, don't mind. I keep realizing the face I'm making. I was just talking with somebody that I always get in trouble because I'll stand there and when I'm focused on something, I make that kind of face where like my jaw drops and I literally catch myself. I'll be going, I'll just quick close my jaw because I'm like, XNYC, I'm pretty sure I did send you emails recently. So just double check it and make sure. I'll make sure that that's the right one I sent it to. XNYCprepper@gmail.com. Pretty sure. Well, crap. It's on the phone that I'm recording with. So I'll have to check that afterwards. But yeah, so let's see. All right, good. KP, awesome. Yeah, also, while I got everybody else on here, if anybody wants to do a live coming up, please let me know. Really, for the most part, like I went hiking the other day. I haven't really, now that it's starting to warm up, I'm finally getting a chance to get back out on the trails. Here in Pennsylvania, the trails were pretty trashy. I don't want to say that because the volunteers that do the trails here in Pennsylvania are absolutely fantastic. But that's the problem. They are volunteers. So you have people maintaining the trails, hiking up mountains with chainsaws to cut down the trees that fell over the trails and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, they're busy with their normal jobs and they come out and do this for free. So if there's a tree that falls on the trail, they might not get to it for a week or two. And then plus on top of that, they're going to need a crew to come up there and help remove the chunks of trees. So, it's just such a pain when you're trying to go on these trails. And like, I think the video I did last summer of me going up the mountain, it took me at least 2.5 to almost 3 hours to get up the mountain. I had to go around one tree that was covered in poison sumac. That took me at least 20 to 30 minutes to get around that tree because it was right where there was rocks and there was rattlesnakes right there. So I had to really watch out. Plus I couldn't just hop over the tree because it was covered in poison sumac. And then the next tree I ran into that was also across the trail, that also was covered in poison sumac. and that took me probably 20 minutes to get around. So that added almost an hour to my trek up this trail. Plus, I have my inch bag. That was a pain. Um, Really weighed me down. But yeah, it was definitely. I'm gonna try to do that again this year. I'd really like to. I have a smaller pack I'm gonna run up there with. Maybe just stay the night or something. So, um, let me see. Somebody just said about the bug out. Let me see. I need to get better at this. I need to go back upstairs where I have my computer so I can actually look at what instead of holding up my iPad to it. Jump my car and hit liquor store. All right, Joe. Partay. Apple trees get apple, tree fruit spray. I hose them down day after. Oh, do any other states, anybody else in here have to worry about lantern flies? That's something that we've had in Pennsylvania lately, really bad. And I know that it's one of those things where they tell you, like, you see it, you kill it. No mercy. It's like Starship Troopers. There's only good bug is a dead bug. So you're trying to go out there, squish everything you can. There's all these remedies like wrapping duct tape with the sticky side out around trees, sticks on them, and stuff like that. So, um, okay, Edith, are you? Oh crap! What was that group? They were just out working in Cumberland County. I actually went hiking there just the other day, and I saw their group, and I was like, hey, thank you all so much for what you do. And I think that they were going to try to give me a card to like volunteer for them, but that's actually not my normal area. I would actually be like a different area, so I wouldn't have joined their group as much as I want to help, but I think my group would be Susquehanna. I forget what it is, but I think that they're like Cumberland Valley, um, Appalachian Trail crew or something. But I definitely thought of joining them. Not that group, but a group in general because I would like to help out. Going to be able to make it to Vision's Bug Out Weekend this May. Devil Dog said that. Yeah, that'd be anybody that's going to the Bug Out Weekend. Please let me know how it is. Um, Maybe I'll send you guys some stickers or something to hand out or something on my behalf because unfortunately, excuse me, unfortunately I work, so I won't be able to come again. Um, I think next year I'm gonna have to get with Vision real early and try to plan it out that I can actually go. Let's see. Friends, a tree climber. He got poison ivy when his hand is scratched. Nuts. He was tortured for weeks. Yeah. In Boy Scouts, I never got. Actually, I don't think like there's. I think it's a third of people, or maybe I don't think that's right. I think that's cilantro. There's something where there's few people that aren't reactive to poison ivy because I've been in poison ivy bushes and haven't gotten poison. Like I've broken branches, had the oil on me, and I never got it. So I don't know if I'm just one of the lucky people that doesn't react to it, or if I just haven't been exposed to the right amount at the right time or whatever. So I'm really happy so far. I'm lucky there. But I did have a buddy who, in Boy Scouts, he didn't know the leaves of three thing, and he went to take a dump and used a poison ivy leaf as toilet paper. And I'll tell you what, people say about how much it sucks to have it on the front, but imagine in the back too. That was his life all summer. He was dealing with, you got to wipe your butt. So either way you're scratching it, it was just awful for him. Oh, let's see. Devil Dome. Yeah, I really wish that I could come to the. I really wish that I could come to the Bug Out Weekend. That'd be really cool to, first of all, meet a bunch of you, and then also to make a video with a bunch of you. That'd be really cool. Um, Plus, then I wouldn't have to pay postage to give some of y'all stickers either. Um, Yeah, if anybody knows that Security Nines are chassis systems. No, I did not. I did not know that they're chassis systems. Honestly, I bought it off of a guy that I worked with who, when I was working for the Department of Corrections, somebody that needed money. And I told him, I was like, I can't just give you money. And he was like, I'll sell you my firearm. And me being a super stickler for liking firearms, I was like, okay, what do you got? He sold me that, and it was dirty, but you know what? I was like, helping out a friend, and I get a firearm out of it. So cleaned it up nice, and I'll tell you what, after I cleaned it, ran great. So far, it's been a very reliable, and I like it. It's been a reliable firearm, and it's not bad. Um, oh, I didn't even think about being in like the Bahamas with poison oak. It's interesting. Okay, awesome, Devil Dog. Thank you. I'll check into it. I'll see. Um, just because it's one of those things where I know there's a few people that don't necessarily want to give their addresses. I totally get that. I 100% get that. Um, so I know a lot of people don't want to send me their address um, for the sticker, which is why I'd rather meet people in person or something, which is where the bug out weekend would have been great. But, I'm thinking depending on how things go this summer, if I'm able to fix up my car good, maybe I can try to run out to some states like XNYC Prepper did before he met his famous deer. And maybe I can try to meet up with some people. But all right, guys, it's been over an hour. If anybody has anything, let me know. Make sure that you guys like the video. You don't have to share it out. I don't necessarily need all that, but I definitely appreciate if you like the video. I think we're at, what do we got? 11 likes, and I got 11 people in the chat. So I appreciate everybody for doing that. Let's see. Yeah, I did notice that penny pinching prepper with the Security 9 when I fired it. It felt different than like I have an M&P Shield. It's smaller, but when I fired the Security 9, it definitely had a different feel to it. Like the slide alone, I don't know how to describe it. It felt like for a cheap gun. I bought it for $250, so I definitely felt like it. Not that it felt better, but it was a unique shoot. Cell phone number, phone book. Lots of people have phone numbers anymore. Hard to tell old friends what's happening. Hmm, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Penny pinching prepper. Yeah. Also, I know, I had talked with Vision Preparedness about this before about him coming up with some sort of like almost like a website for preppers to reach out to each other and talk. I don't know where he's at with that. So if anybody knows or has heard anything about that, let me know. But I'm thinking of trying to get something together like that, maybe even a Discord server. So if anybody's interested in that, please shoot me an email. I'd like to talk with you about it. Or if anybody wants to do a video together or a live or an interview style, anything like that, please let me know. I'm going to try to get out on the trail a lot more this summer. Um, Also, there's a couple videos I want to do as far as backpacking and medical stuff. So if there's anything anybody wants to see, let me know. But besides that, I'm pretty much done today. I'm going to try to make some videos later if I'm able to. So let me know. As always, stay safe, stay prepared, and I will see you all next time.